This episode is brought to you by my one and only food and mood journal. This is an 8-week food and mood journal and planner for beginners where you can track how food affects your mood, your hunger, and your energy levels. Are you sick and tired of promising yourself to stop binge eating? Do you feel out of control with food and you just don't know why you overeat? You might have intense cravings leading to self-sabotage. My food and mood journal is the perfect tool to help you tune into your signals that your body sends you. And by tracking what you eat and drink will help you give insight on how food affects your moods. This is an 8-week kickstart to mindful eating to help you identify the triggers that make you want to eat when you're not physically hungry. So this includes a food tracker, a mood and stress tracker, because we know that stress eating can also lead to overeating. We also have an 8-week goals tracker with journal prompts and affirmations. You'll also track things like your water intake and exercise. It makes a beautiful gift for anyone who feels out of control with food. It's an easy to use journal and it will give you just the insights to help you get on the path to stop binge eating, emotional eating, or any other form of overeating. So get your food and mood journal today by clicking the link in the show notes. Thank you. Welcome to Beyond Overeating by Wholesome Lifestyle Project, the Overeating Podcast, where I'll be showing up weekly to share with you what I've learned during my binge eating recovery, helpful tools such as yoga, mindfulness, and energy medicine. My name is Stell, and my purpose is to inform and educate so that you can fast track your recovery in healing your relationship with food and finally trust yourself around the peanut butter jar. Join me as I share top tips, my struggles and triumphs to help inspire or just entertain. Remember, there's nothing wrong with you if you can't stop overeating. That's why I'm here to guide you along the way. Welcome back to another episode of the Beyond Overeating podcast by Wholesome Lifestyle Project. My name is Stell Coombe-Heath, binge and emotional eating recovery specialist. And if you are watching this podcast on YouTube, this is probably the second last day that I will be recording a podcast in this particular space. As you might see, the room looks a little bit bare, and it's because we are moving. And I'm excited about this week's episode because we will be talking about the root chakra. And currently my root chakra kind of feels very, very unstable because of moving. And that's pretty natural. But before I get into that, let's get into this episode. So just a background of why we're talking about the energy centers. I am a body image and binge eating recovery mentor and coach, and I really love using different modalities and different understandings. So one of the things that I'm really passionate about is understanding our mind, bodies, and also our energy levels or our energy centers. So my work as an energy healer and as well as a yoga teacher often stems into the energy centers itself. And I'm really passionate about talking about the energy body and everything else. But if you are new to this podcast and you're not too sure what I'm talking about, you're welcome to just pop back to episode 69, where I talk about the 7 chakras and how they relate to body image and your relationship with food. That might give you just a little bit of a background of where to go. If you're brand new, you're welcome to go listen to episode 1, where I actually talk about my binge eating recovery journey. Also, episode 3, 5, and 10 will give you some great insights as to why you overeat most of the time. So go back, go listen to those if you want a little bit of a background before you hop into this episode. So I started off last week with talking about the energy centers, and when I work in my yoga practice, I and also in my energy healing practice, I work with the energy centers. And so what I'm going to create here is a little mini series with each energy center, each chakra, talking about how that relates to body image and your relationship with food, and how we can actually start improving it. And I've actually and this comes actually out of the work I've just done through creating my brand new program, which is really, really energy based, where we actually start healing your body in a physical, emotional, and energetic level. I am super excited about this program. You will hear more about it as I go along. And I also talk a lot about it in my books that I have written. So for those of you who are new to my journey, you might not know, but I have been working behind the scenes on a book called Reclaim Your Inner Goddess. And in here, I actually talk about the root chakra. And I talk about the root chakra and how it relates to our relationship with our body, and how we actually need a connection with the body in order for us to really feel safe to do anything in our life. So what I'm actually going to do towards the end of this episode is I'll share a little chakra balancing meditation from the book. Isn't that so exciting? If you would like a copy of the Reclaim Your Inner Goddess book, I'm going to pop the link for that in the show description. So let me just open that up so I've got the right page. So you're getting pretty much, this book is hot off the press. You are the first to hear a reading out of this chapter of mine. Okay, so last week we talked about the 7 chakras and how they relate to our relationship with our body and with food. And we talked about each chakra, and today we'll start with the root chakra, which sits at the bottom of the base of your spine. And this chakra is really affiliated with safety and belonging. All right. Now, chakras, if you can get blocked or unbalanced, and that can actually show up physically or emotionally for you. So the root chakra governs your blood, your bones, your lower back. So if you are struggling with back problems, for example, you actually will you can work on your root chakra to help physically heal that relationship there. So energetically, everything that we either feel physically or emotionally is always first experienced in our energy center. All right. So feeling unsafe or feeling ungrounded is often first felt in the energy body, and then it starts pressing into the more physical forms like the emotions and the physical. And that's why I was talking about my root chakra kind of just flaring up every so often now that we're moving, because moving is such an uprooting experience. I'm not moving far, but even if you just move to the house next door or a few blocks away, it means that your body is now in a space that's unfamiliar and threatened, and that will flare up the root chakra and cause it to be unbalanced. Today, we are going to talk about how body image and our relationship with food actually affects the root chakra. So an unbalanced root chakra can lead to a love-hate relationship with your body. It's just the way it is because of that element of safety. So, and your root chakra can become blocked when we don't feel safe within our bodies. And this is usually we don't feel safe in our bodies because we create this for ourselves through body shame and also disordered eating thoughts. And disordered eating thoughts, I've talked about this a lot. I normally call it food thoughts. This is when we are possessively or possessed with thoughts of food or possessed of ways to make up for eating. This might be thinking about food all the time, overcounting calories. That creates a real sense of disharmony in our nervous system as well, because we actually start fearing calories and we fear foods, and that's what will start blocking our root chakra. Okay, when we bring in shame for our bodies, when we say mean things about our hips, whether we say it out loud or whether we think it to ourselves, for example, that creates a disconnect with our body, and that starts stimulating a sense of not feeling safe in our own skin, and that can block our root chakra. Now, if the root chakra is blocked, unfortunately, that can spill over into all the other centers, because we need to feel safe in order for us to feel creative, in order for us to actually have a healthy self-esteem. In order for us to love, we need to feel safe within ourselves first before we give out love. In order for us to speak up what we want, we need to feel safe and secure. In order for us to tune into and trust our gut and our intuition, again, safety needs to be there first. And same with us having a spiritual connection with the divine or the universe or, God, or whoever you connect with as a higher source. We cannot do that when we don't have a sense of safety in our own bodies. Doesn't make sense. Why would we connect to anything out there when we are not even connected to ourselves? All right. So when the root chakra is underactive, and an underactive root chakra means there's not enough energy going into that center, it can lead to fears of not belonging. And that can drive a disordered relationship with food and your body. So a lot of body image issues come from the fact that we don't feel like we belong. And that is often why we try and change our body or wish it looked different, or we just hate that it's not the same as others. And we think that if it was, we would be more accepted and therefore belong, if that makes sense. All right. Now, if the root chakra is overactive, it can actually result in overeating and overbearing cravings. All right. So we want to make sure that we are well balanced in our root energy. And as I mentioned before, we create this overactivity or underactivity by thoughts of body shame or disordered thoughts about food. And we create this imbalance by, if we have disorder, if we are restrictive about our food choices, or if we fear our foods, that is when we start creating that imbalance. Because the minute we go on an excessive diet or we restrict ourselves heavily with food, that is an immediate threat to our survival and to our safety. That will create a scarcity mindset, a deprivation mindset through the restriction of the food. Now, often when when we've been in this diet world, we also have a lot of food rules, which has created a lot of fears around food. And we need to feel safe with one of the three main ingredients that keep us alive. And that's what my programs are all about, is to actually restore that sense of feeling safe in the relationship with food, and then ultimately your body as well. So we create an imbalance through creating scarcity, through restricting foods, through food fears. Oh my gosh. I think last week I also got tongue-tied in the episode recording. It's just one of those days. We'll blame it on my unbalanced root chakra. Or we can also create the imbalance by thinking or saying mean things about our soul suit, as I call it in the Reclaim Your Inner Goddess book. All right. So the root chakra controls our fight or flight response. And we can help to heal this chakra by learning to feel safe within our bodies and trust our bodies. So here are a few ways for you to feel safe, reconnected with your body, so that you can rebalance your root chakra and heal your relationship with your body. So one of the best things that I do when I feel ungrounded or uncentered is doing grounding exercises, such as spending time in nature, spending time in my body, like doing a grounding yoga practice or breath work to really just earth myself back into my body. Another thing that's really important here is stop restricting your meals. Don't ever go hungry. I've talked about this so many times about how that creates that hormonal imbalance in the body, and how that just activates into negative food behaviors such as binge eating. And the last thing is we need to make peace with food. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. We need to feel safe with something that sustains us. And food is one of the three things that sustain us. The first thing is air, then water, and then food. So we need to make peace with food. And my brand new program is going to help you find radical body acceptance and help you incorporate practices to help you feel safe with food and in your body. So I can't wait to share with you about where that is and when you can sign up, because I know it's going to be absolutely just so transformational in your journey to recovering from poor body image or your relationship with food. So I'm going to end today's practice off with a small little grounding meditation through the root chakra. I'm reading from the Reclaim Your Inner Goddess book. So if you would love to just get yourself comfortable, and I will just give you a moment to do so. So find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, and gently just, if you can, sit on the floor, because that sitting on the floor is really, really grounding in itself. All right. So I'm going to read this meditation because I feel so honored to share this passage from my teachings with you. Find a straight spine and close your eyes. And then bring your awareness to the weight of your body, resting on the floor or your pillow. Tune into your breath and become aware of the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. Feeling the air enter your lungs, nourishing your body and activating your rest and digest nervous system. Now take a deep breath into your belly. Fill your lungs and just sigh out all the air. Continue with this cycle to allow you to let go and soften. Take a moment to connect to your body, to come home to your body. So much of life takes us away from this safe and sacred place. Take this moment to return home to yourself. Place your hand on the back of your sacrum, that triangular bone at the bottom of your spine. And here, just imagine the color red between your hand and your sacrum. Allow this color to come alive, spinning like a disc in a clockwise direction. And as the root chakra spins, you feel it opening and expanding downwards towards the earth. Now imagine red roots growing down your legs into the earth. Spend a few moments here embracing the emotions that arise from feeling grounded in your root chakra. Okay. Take as long as you need here. And when you are ready, come back to the room. Deepen into your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. And if you wanted to, you can journal what you experienced through your root chakra. And I would say, if you do have disordered thoughts about food, if you do feel like there's just a real disconnect with your body, doing this practice often as you can, you are going to just feel so much better in your own skin. So thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. I'm so excited to share this chakra series with you. I look forward to seeing you next week in the next episode. If you would like to ask any questions, you're welcome to reach out to me on Instagram. My handle there is @Wholesome Lifestyle Project. I am also, if you are not on Instagram, you're welcome to go to my website, wholesomelifestyleproject.com. And on my website, there is a little chat icon. Please click that and send me a message. If you have any questions, if you have any feedback, if you have any requests for future episodes, I'd love to hear your feedback and I'd love to hear from you. So I'm sending you so much love, my loves, and I can't wait to see you back here next week in the next episode. Bye. Thank you so much for joining me today, and don't forget to share this with all your friends. You can do this by adding this to your Instagram story and tagging me @Wholesome Lifestyle Project, or by simply telling them about it. If you could rate and review on whatever platform you are listening, this will go a long way in helping me get this podcast out there so that I can share my message and help as many women out there struggling with food issues as I can. Don't forget, you can follow me on Instagram on Wholesome Lifestyle Project or connect with me on LinkedIn. My name's Coombe-Heath, and that's where you'll find me on LinkedIn. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.